AITA for expecting my wife to care for me while I am extremely ill? Recently, I unexpectedly became very sick after catching a virus from my toddler and 11-month-old daughters. I ended up with bronchitis and pneumonia. I had a fever of 105. I had severe coughing attacks and I was coughing up buckets of phlegm. I had severe chills and every night I'd be drenched in sweat from the coughing and fever. I didn't sleep for 5 to 7 days but for 30 minutes here and there. I had to visit the ER 3 times from severe chest pain and trouble breathing as my oxygen levels would regularly reach dangerous levels. I simply was not getting better. It just so happened that my wife had requested Friday and Monday off because our girls' daycare was closed. She did her best to care for the girls while I was isolated in the guest room. There were moments each day where she lost her temper with our toddler and I had to muster whatever strength I had left to console our daughter from the outburst from my wife. She'd regularly snatch our daughter by the arm and drag her out of our bedroom and lock the door because she wasn't being quiet enough, leaving our daughter crying hysterically outside the door trying to get back in. I didn't like it but I tried to be understanding. My wife was just frustrated and overwhelmed. A few days into my illness, I'd already been to the ER twice and I was not improving. I'd shared with my wife that I was getting worried if I got any worse I might die. I'd started to feel disoriented and dizzy along with all my other symptoms. That same night, she told me she'd be going to work the next day, Monday, and taking our 2 daughters with her. I asked her why this was necessary and she said she had a small project she needed to complete that was important to her. I told her that from my perspective, work could wait. I needed her. She was off anyway. And her boss is very understanding and they'd figure it out. I didn't understand why she also felt the need to burden herself with work. She went anyway and left me alone for about 5 hours that day. I was upset and disappointed by this and my wife could care less. The whole time I've been sick, she showed no empathy for me and was more annoyed than anything that I wasn't able to provide the utility I normally provide. I had to go back to the ER the day after she went to work and thankfully I've started to feel a bit better now. It's been 2 weeks. Nonetheless, it's led to a deep division in the relationship with my wife. This is not out of the ordinary for her. She regularly puts work and everyone else before me. It just feels like this could be the last straw for me if I can't even count on her when I'm sick. Of course, she thinks I'm being dramatic and she sees nothing wrong with what she did. She started the public campaign of making me the bottom hole for expecting her to stay home and care for me. AITA for expecting my wife to care and support me when I'm extremely sick? Is that really an unreasonable request?